We are not blocking the healing technique that your body is using. We are helping it. Welcome, healthy friends, to the reality of health. It's that time of year again. Everybody's going to get sick. They think they're all contagious. Isn't that what we always say? Let's learn some new stuff today if you've never really thought about these kind of things or never heard about them. I got quite a few tabs. I'm going to try and make this quick, okay? This, of what you see on the screen now, of the different seasons, is very important to understand. It's not just what you think you see, it's what you actually do see. Energy changing. You have temperature change, the amount of sun, that's your circadian. You've got pressure changes, humidity changes. There's energies all around that are all changing from one state to another. You've got so many things going on all at once, all around you, though they're slow. They will kind of hit a vortex point somewhere. You know, we kind of say things like solstices. But throughout history, we know that things change throughout the year, even if you're in a climate that is, like the equator or something. When we do get changes like this, you might feel it. Depends on your level of health and how clean you are inside and what you do and your job and all of it. Understand that not everybody gets sick the same way other people do. Some people you go, man, they just never sick. Other people are sick all the time. Could be how poisoned they are. Your body wants to clean itself out. Spring and fall. Summer, it's allergies. Yes. Winter, you might think you have an infection. You're calling an infection, like, I'm past my cleansing. Now it's February and I'm really sick and I really feel terrible and I got a fever and stuff. It's just, again, your body trying to clean something out. The symptoms are that, and this is what we call the terrain theory. Eric is so ridiculous. We all know the germs are real. Are they? Louis Pasteur, before he died, said, nope, it's all about the terrain. I was wrong. The idea being that your body has to clean itself out. And as it's cleaning itself out, it creates waste product. Then your body has to clean out the waste product through the mechanisms like urine and feces and sweat and snot. Even breath. It's hard to get those things out that way. It's not a fast process, and you're going to feel it. Sinus congestion, headaches, you name it. But essentially, the germ theory states that there are things out there that are going to kill you. You're going to get sick if you catch it. Terrain theory says, nope, those are symptoms of your body just cleaning itself. Simple. Easy. I believe in the terrain theory. Why do you believe in the terrain theory, Eric, and not the germ theory? Well, that would be because we all think that kid came home from school. Oh, we're all going to get sick now. Oh, we went to a party. Oh, my gosh. Joan was sick. Now we're all going to get sick. Something to that, isn't there? Or it could just be something else that you don't normally talk about. You always want to talk about germs. Some pathogen that's out to get you. You got to be in fear of everything. Can't touch a door handle. Can't hug your wife because she's sick. Can't touch your kid because they're sick, and then you're going to get sick. Isn't that the normal way we think? This is Daniel Reuters, his book called Can You Catch a Cold? Just published it, launched it. He is a journalist and doctor. He has scoured thousands of studies, all of it to try and find proof that you can catch a cold. You can catch anything from somebody else. And you know what he found? Zero evidence. Oh, Eric, he's just biased. No, he literally couldn't find anything to prove that you can catch something from somebody else. Everything from taking their fluids and putting them right into you, to coughing in your face, coughing in your mouth, kissing, touching, all the things you can think of. Guess what he did find? That would be the Nocebo Effect. What's that? Never heard about it? It's where you think you're going to get sick because your kid came home and the kid is, quote, sick. So you think, oh no, whole family's going to get it now. Well, guess what? It doesn't work that way. You can tell yourself you're going to get sick and then you get sick. Absolutely proven effect. You can tell yourself from everything from your past experiences, or somebody told you, oh, well, so-and-so at the office is sick. Now we're all going to get sick. And then you think you're going to get sick, and then you do. Things that happen around you, like you went into the hospital and you're like, oh, when you go to the hospital, everybody's sick, so I'm going to get sick too. Or they lie about certain things that have happened over the last few years, if you know what I mean. And then you think, well, it's just the way I am. When so-and-so gets sick, I always get sick. When people around me are sick, I always get sick. You're telling yourself that, and then your mind makes it happen. Daniel talks about a research that was done at a clinic with a gentleman who when he went into the clinic, they said, we're going to monitor you, but we're going to give you this bacteria or virus or whatever they said it was, and it's going to give you, headaches, nausea, sniffles, and you're not going to sleep well, and all the normal stuff. About an hour later, yep, oh, my throat's starting to hurt, starting to get a headache, into the night, getting worse and worse, didn't sleep very well, wakes up in the morning, and they tell him, yeah, we gave you a placebo. What? You gave me a what? A placebo. We didn't give you anything. We told you your symptoms, and then you got those because your mind made it real. Isn't it weird that about an hour after they told him, he's totally fine and went home? They said, go ahead, you're good. He couldn't believe it. That's called nocebo. Just because your kid is sick, if you tell yourself you're going to get sick, then you're going to probably get sick. So don't be negative. Be positive. But this is the other thing he found. In reality, what you get from somebody else who's sick are cytokines, histamines, bradykinins, prostaglandins, and leukotrienes. These are inflammatory compounds put off by the body because they're in the body, and then, you're sneezing and you're coughing and you're breathing and you're doing other things. And then they get into another person like me. I'm in the same room with you. And I am personally very sensitive to histamine. I don't make a lot of histamine, but I'm sensitive to histamines. So you put out histamine, I get it. I could have the symptoms of what normally looks like a cold or flu. You don't get diarrhea from a friend of yours when you gave him a hug. Why? That's a sickness. When really, it's just you've got inflammatory compounds now in your body, and you're going to respond to those. You get histamine, you're going to respond to that. Anyway, the nocebo and inflammatory compounds are the reason why that was a sick party. Kid's birthday party and everyone got sick. Well, yeah, one kid was sick, probably had some poison or wanted a cleanse or whatever, and putting off just tons of prostaglandins and leukotrienes and bradykinins and cytokines and histamines and, all of that. And other kids picked it up. But not every kid got sick. There's other reasons why you can get inflammatory responses in the body. You have infective agents. Bacteria, viruses, and their toxins. Fungi and parasites. Yeah, all those things, except for viruses because they don't exist. Those things will cause a reaction in your body. But it's just the waste material from those, or just the fact that a toxin can cause these things in your body to start eating up these things, and then they have to defecate. We've talked about this a million times. You're going to feel that defecation, trust me. Your body's got to get it out. Immunological agents, things like antigens and antibodies. Those are purely only a cleanup mechanism. Your body isn't inflaming because of the antigen antibody. That's cleanup crew. Physical agents like heat, cold, radiation, and medical trauma, or mechanical trauma, excuse me. Physical agents like heat and cold, like spring and fall. Amazing how that works. And chemical agents like organic and inorganic poisons. Oh, when you change your diet and your food because the food is changing at this time of year or in the spring, because that's what we do. Sometimes we just change how we eat. We're like, oh yeah, all the fall foods are coming in. Let's eat those now. And you should. But you're not used to those things as much. Who's eating pumpkin in spring? You don't do that. Either way, I just wanted to show you there's things that cause inflammation, and it's more than what you might think. So then you get a fever, and you think, wow, man, I'm really sick. Well, you can be cleansing or inflamed without having a fever. So this is my personal opinion, and that is, no fever, you're not that sick. You're just cleansing. It's no problem. You may feel terrible, but you're not that bad. Mild fever, yeah, you're a little bit more. And then a large fever or a high fever, yeah, you're really sick. That body's got to clean itself out. And the reason I think that the temperature goes up is I think it's doing more than just cleaning, let's say, water-soluble toxins or a buildup of those. It's going to try and get rid of fat and water-soluble, or the types of toxins that are in your body that's got to get out are really terrible, like glyphosate and heavy metals and all this kind of stuff that's terrible and it's difficult to get out. The body will create that fever to melt that structured water to let it get out. Just want to make a disclaimer here real quick. None of this is advice coming up as once I start telling you how to keep all this from happening. I am merely just giving you my experience and I'm educating, and that's it. You don't have to take any of my advice at all whatsoever. You can tell me to kick rocks, Eric. Well, yeah. I'm trying to help you. Maybe help you think a little differently. But I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your doctor. Does your doctor know what he's doing? Probably not. All right, disclaimer out of the way. So here you have a picture of 3 filters. This is a good representation of your body. So picture the filter material being all your tissues, okay? So when you're clean and healthy, you're clean and healthy tissue. When you start getting bad things in the body, you get this, where you start filling up that filter, start to look dark, getting dark, not good. And then you have it when you're really, really dirty, you're really poisoned. So my personal opinion is, when you're here and you just got to get out some stuff, no fever, you're like, I don't feel good a day or two. And then the mid-level, you're like, yeah, I got a little bit of a fever, or man, I'm really hurting. That's when you got to get out more stuff. So the body's got to push that out harder. The bacteria you make, the yeast you make, the molds that you make to clean up all the mess are defecating more, so you feel it more, and it activates the lymphatic system more, etc., etc. Then, when you're really dirty, it's all of that at 103 temp, and it's got to push it out. It has to really, really push whatever it's trying to get out. I hope that's a good way to look at it, because that's how I picture it in my brain. Think about this. If you're at, let's say, 60% toxin load, okay? Let's say it's that middle one. And then your kid comes home from school. He's full-blown pumping out all those inflammatory agents. You were doing fine. You weren't feeling sick. Your body is like, I'm handling this. But then that overload of inflammatory compounds comes in, and your body goes, screw it. I'm just going to clean now, right now. So you just went from 60 to like 95, and your body goes, yep, it's time to cleanse, and it just kickstarts it, so to speak. Can I prove that? Kind of am a little bit right now, but when you take and you look at all health throughout history and and cultures that look at health and they know like certain things, certain times of year, certain foods, they've worked this stuff out. You don't need clinical trials for everything. And I love clinical trials. But my theory is, if I'm sitting at 75%, my body's handling it for whatever it's going through. I'm not really feeling it. Maybe I'm a little tired. Maybe you're like, don't feel great, but I'm not that bad. And then you're in the grocery store and you walk by somebody and they're just expelling this stuff. Because yes, that's how it gets out. They're breathing and coughing and sneezing. And then it's in the air and you get it. Just enough of an inflammatory compound. It doesn't take much. And that pushes you past your 75. Because at 76, now you're getting sick. You see? I hope that's clear. It's clear in my mind. So what can you do? Well, the first thing you do is start eating seasonally. Best thing to do anyway for health is eat seasonally. If you're going to eat fruits and vegetables, you should eat those that grow near you, local, and the time of year that they grow. I'm going to show you a quick one here. I know it's small. It's best I could show you. So garlic. So this beige right here, this line, both sides, that's storable. So that means you can put it away in storage and it'll keep for a while. The orange, light orange is spring and the dark orange is fall. But notice most foods are kind of grown summer and fall, right? Well, garlic, which is right here, is mostly spring and nothing in the fall. But it's stored. So it looks like you should only be eating garlic like July and August. And for those of us garlic lovers, I know. But you see my point. And then like rhubarb. Rhubarb is only in May. And by the way, this is Michigan. Obviously, this is different where you live, but for here, like rhubarb should never be eaten any other time. But Eric, that's ridiculous. It's just rhubarb. It's just garlic. It's just mushrooms. It's just. Well, why do they grow at that time of the year? That is their energy state that they like. Just like these trees don't like it when it's getting cold and the sun is less. They got to shed their leaves because if the leaves freeze, they die. You don't want frozen water inside a tree. Yeah, your foods like certain times of the year because of the energy it has. Next thing you can do is salt. Always consume the best salt you can afford. And do not ever buy regular Morton table salt or anything like that. That is actually poison to the body, first of all. Second of all, it does nothing for you at all. Eric's got iodine. No, it doesn't. It's got the worst form of iodine already in a poison. So no, you don't want that. Sea salt and flake salt is my favorite to use. I personally don't like rock salts. I think they're hard to chew. I think they're damaging to the teeth quite possibly. I'm not a fan of Redmond. And for all of you that are listening to this, that are into health and you love your Redmond salt, knock yourself out. I think Redmond is terrible. And I've had actual sand in my Redmond salt and I've, bit down on it. No more. No more. And trust me, I've known that brand for years and years and years. Flake, that never happens. You can always chew it. It melts better. Himalayan, sure, go for it. Some volcanic salt or, I like sea salts like Celtic or Gray or any of the flakes. I use Murray River myself. I absolutely love it. The mineral content is very, very good. It tastes great, but stay away from, the junk salt. And if you're going to have to do sugar, which you should not be doing sugar when you don't feel well at all, like don't do it. Get rid of the sugar. Don't eat any sugar whatsoever. You're already trying to get well, and the last thing you need to do is put in a refined sugar. What can I use, Eric? Well, you could use raw honey, local, of course. And by the way, how do you know if it's real honey? If it doesn't crystallize, especially, then it's not real. It's going to be cut or just flavored high fructose corn syrup. So be careful. Know how to buy your honey. Maybe we'll do a honey episode in the future. That sounds fun, actually. Maple syrup, the darker the better. is the other alternative. So if you want to make or you want to add some sweetener to your tea or whatever you got to do for your food, these are two sources really good. And the other one is molasses. Find the lowest sugar molasses you can find. But molasses has all the nutrients when they made the sugar. So they left all the good part out. So get a really, really high quality molasses if you want to do that as well. Echinacea is probably the mildest and most used herb for when you're sick. Here's my advice. Get on it now. You should be on it from basically September 1st all the way through to about May 15th or so. Take it 5 days a week. If you got a low dose product or you want to take less, take it 6 days a week. You can do capsules. You can do teas. You can do liquids. I'm a big fan of an extract, small amount each day for 5 to 6 days a week, all the way through the winter. What does it do, Eric? Well, the best thing that it does is it cleans your blood. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, but I heard it's great for your immune system. Yeah, that is your immune system. Cleansing. Support the cleansing process, which is basically when they talk about immune system, is all the things in your body that clean up all the junk. That's the terrain theory, okay? This supports that. It's inexpensive. There are different forms like Purpurea and Augustifolia. The mix is the best way to go. But if you're going to stay on it for, 6 months or so, it's fine, whichever one you want. If you're sick and you're trying to get better faster, you want to buy the best that you can find. The one with the leaves, the stem, and the root. Anyway, fantastic. Get on it now. Stay on it. By the way, kids, do kids liquid echinacea. I'm telling you, it's so simple, so easy, and it's so effective for children. It's ridiculous. I can't tell you in my career how many kids, or I should say parents, that put their children on liquid echinacea every day for the whole sick season for spring and fall. And those kids never got sick. And if they did, it was like, a day, if that. But many of them never got sick. But you got to cleanse. You got to cleanse your blood. Cleaning your blood helps get those histamines and bradykinins and all the other inflammatory compounds down, so that if they do get them from other kids, it's not a big deal. Next is ginger. No, not that kind of ginger. This kind of ginger. This is the one that works. Any way that you can get ginger in your diet this time of year, all through the winter, the better you will be. Yes, I'm a carnivore and I'm telling you to eat ginger. Teas. Grate it, chop it up, put it in your food, eat it straight. I don't care. Get it incorporated into your life. First thing, ginger is an anti-inflammatory. It is a pain reliever. It helps with all the cleansing process of your body, and it keeps inflammatory responses down, which are known as cooxygenases. So this is your power weapon of all time. And yes, it's my favorite thing in health for a substance other than water. But use it all the time, as much as you want. I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong. And quick tip, you take fresh ginger on some fresh pineapple, do some bites, 5 or 6 bites, chew it really well, swallow it slowly, let it keep coating, and it'll take away a sore throat 90+% of the time for at least an hour or two. Do it as much as you want. Willow bark. See how it says natural pain reliever? It is. It's also an anti-inflammatory. This whole thing of getting sick this time of year is an inflammatory response. The more you can lower inflammation, the better. Willow bark is essentially an aspirin type of a herb. Now, there's controversy whether aspirin came from it fully or not, going way back to 1859 or 69, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. It's a pain reliever. It's phenomenal for the human body, and it's anti-inflammatory. So you would use this as your pain reliever. It will also help you feel better. You want basically, like, if you're going to do capsules or an extract, 120 to 240 milligrams of psilocin. If you're going to do the liquid, it's like 3.5 to 7 mils of a 1 to 2 concentrate. And then you can do that a few times throughout the day. Whatever works for you. Almost no side effects. It's very rare to get a side effect with this. But you might also find that it works really good if you have arthritis or joint pains and things like that. But this is your weapon to help you feel better when you're going through a terrible time because of the whole pain relieving aspect. Don't take it with other aspirin or Tylenol or any of that stuff. Use this only. Next one you can use with that is Feverfew, and you can get this in liquid or capsule as well. Great for fever because it's antipyretic, so it'll help lower your fever, which also the white willow bark will do. It's anti-inflammatory and it's a pain reliever. The two of those, I mean, that's some power right there. You can take, believe it or not, quite a bit. You're really not going to ever overdo it. And then if you want to add something either daily throughout your whole life or when you're not feeling so well, is Zyflamend. This is in a bottle, probably the single best compilation formula recipe for an anti-inflammatory you can use. This is a mainstay first aid item. You can use essential oils. Lots of different ways to use essential oils when you're sick. I'm going to point out just a couple here. First off, this is the list of ones that are anti-inflammatory and analgesic, which are, pain relieving. But I want to point out ginger oil. Absolutely. German chamomile and thyme. And of course eucalyptus, we all know. But what's not on here is thuja. Thuja. Also, what's not on here is any of the pine versions. There's lots of different pine oils, okay? Those work ridiculously good. Not only can you put this in a carrier oil, I'm going to go over that in a second, but you can atomize it and these kind of things. Use these throughout your life. Use these when you're sick. But one of the best things you can do when you're not feeling well, you can rub them on your chest, I'm going to show you how to make this in a second. Create one of these carrier oil filled with essential oils. Put it on your feet before you go to bed, on the palm, the soles of your feet. Put some socks on, go to sleep. You can do that throughout the day as well too, and or put it on your chest, especially in this region here in your throat, okay? Here's how, and I want to point out one more quick one. Turpentine. You're not going to drink this stuff or anything like that. You can breathe it in when you're not feeling well, and that will detoxify your lungs and help you feel better. But I want you to put this into your carrier oil, essential oil blend. This is Dr. Cowan's. It is pure. This is not the garbage that comes out of the paper industry and that kind of toxic, mess. This is legit. It's just pine oil. It's been around forever and it works, and it's so similar to just going in and getting going to the health food store and getting, pine extract. It's the same thing. Well, this is better, but essentially it's the same thing. So you're going to pick a carrier oil. In my opinion, all this is junk except for two, the jojoba and the castor. Those two are my two plant sources recommendations, I should say. Jojoba, very, very good. And castor, we all know what castor does. It's absolutely incredible. It's just a miracle product. But those two work really well. Don't buy this other garbage. These are the only two you need. And if you want to go animal version, emu oil. Emu is insanely good for you. You can even use lanolin oil. That comes from sheep. But castor and emu together, man. And then you put your essential oils in there. Then you say, Eric, but how do I put it on my body? Do I just squirt it? I mean, it's oily. Well, this is how you do it. This is my favorite method. It's a roller ball in the jar, right? You stick, whatever you want to call it. Now you can just roll it on, put the cap back on. If you want to do something like a spritz, you can put your essential oils into witch hazel, which is also a pain reliever and anti-inflammatory. And that you can spray on your chest or mist it into your face or spray it on your feet, spray it into the air around you. Fantastic. This is a simple way. You can put it on your temples. Use it wherever you want to relieve pain and help you feel better. And it's great, and it's not messy, is my point. The next thing you should do if you get sick is immediately start putting on your castor oil pack. This is the best you can get with the best oil you can get. It's called Queen of Thrones. It doesn't leak. You can wear it as much as you want, literally 24 hours a day while you're sick. But you put it over the liver just like this. You're only going to put a couple tablespoons right where it's going to go on the liver. You don't put it on the whole thing underneath. Then the next one you would do would be, they have one for your throat. And you wear that one around your throat because your thymus gland is there, and that helps to support your immune system. But your sore throat, this kind of thing. So when you have toxins, you just have soreness, castor oil can help you feel better. So not only can you add essential oils with the castor oil on the pack, you could just do the castor oil by itself, but it will help soothe and make you feel better and pull toxins out of those areas. Fantastic. And of course, you can always do a diffuser. You can put essential oils in these things, let it run the whole time you're in your house, just non-stop, filling the air with all these anti-inflammatory compounds. Definitely while you're sleeping. Fantastic, great way to go. And smells good too. Nobody wants to come into a room when someone's sick. It kind of always stinks a little bit. That would be coming out of your breath, all those poisons. Of course, no one smells good. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you learned something and, get your Echinacea. Get going right now. Get all this stuff, if you want these things, now, so that if you're sick, you're ready to go. Or if you start feeling sick, you're ready to go. These are just some easy ways to feel better. By the way, let me throw this one thing out. You need to let your body cleanse. We're not trying to stop it. We are letting the body heal itself, not interrupting it, pushing it deeper so that it has to come out later. These things I'm talking about help you get through it and help you feel better getting through it. And you'll get through it faster. We are not blocking the healing technique that your body is using. We are helping it. That's really, really important. Okay. Thank you for listening. If you have any ideas for the future, you want to learn anything, hit me up. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves.